Good evening, people. Bloody hell, it's Del. Who the hell are you, mate?
Hello, I'm all right, thank you very much. And yourself?
Good. Oh no, I was getting a wee bit misty-eyed and nostalgic for that intro. It's been a wee while since I've played that one. Yeah. That's quite a relevant topic. Now I don't know if you've got anything you want to talk about. I have got 1, 2, 3. I've got 6 things, and every single one is just me complaining about something. You must find a way. The older you get, why do you think the older you get?
Oh, have you frozen my side? Is that me?
Oh, I'm back again.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah, I get the wee. That's weird. Connection is unstable if you're on Wi-Fi. Well, it's now saying its connection is fairly good. At the top left of StreamYard, no, it's now disappeared. You get a wee Wi-Fi thing. I mean, I'm hardwired, so I haven't a fucking clue what that is.
No, I think you'll find you've got a signal degradation outside your house. It's the signal being pumped in.
Oh, is it? Right,
they say Wi-Fi because that's the biggest culprit.
Yeah. So anyway, why do you think we complain the older we get?
No, it comes back to that. I'm turning into my dad.
Yeah.
used to be a big sort of like line to say, and I think all the time, the older I get, the more I complain.
Do you think, even in Steve, how are you, mate? Do you think? I think it's probably down to the fact that the older you get, the more experience. There's very little that we haven't experienced in life, and so when you see other people doing stuff, you're like, oh bloody hell, blah, 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 blah. But even just I've become more intolerant. Well, I was going to say I've become more intolerant. I think I have with certain things, and other things is I just don't care. Somebody doesn't like me. Who cares?
I think you're on the right lines though, because it's like when I was a kid, it was like I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to live life. just because it happened to you doesn't mean it's going to happen to me type of attitude. As you get older, I think you see the scams and you see the worthlessness of it all, and you just go, I ain't taking that. If somebody turns around and gives me a load of bollocks as a spiel, I just go, you're talking crap. I know exactly. I've been here before. I've seen it a million times. Where all of those comments come out. And I just think, and I just become intolerant to it. So I
was watching an interview with Chris Hoy and his missus, and you probably know that Chris Hoy's got terminal cancer.
Yeah.
But he's so, and obviously his wife's got, is it MS? I think it is, she's got, and she's terminal as well. Could even a nurse, and he's such. I mean, he was always a hero of mine. Anyway, being Scottish at the Olympic Games, it's like bring out the big guns. Chris Hoy, fucking hell, he's a guaranteed medal winner. But he's such a brave man. He's not any braver than anyone else, but he's, for some to kind of come out like that. And what he was saying was, he says right now, he says, yeah, I've got cancer. They can't treat it. He says, my life will probably be shortened. He said, they've given me 2 to 4 years. He says, but right now, I'm fit and healthy. I go to the gym, I lift weights, I cycle. He says, one thing that I've learned, and my wife and I've learned, is he says, we, as a human being, we worry all the time. And 9 times out of 10, the things you're worried about never happen. And it's true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Well, when my dad died, I kept thinking, knowing that you've read an awful lot, people was, even came up to me and they said, you'll probably go through the 5 phases of loss, grief and
anger,
all of this denial,
yeah,
all of this sort of stuff. And I wondered to myself, maybe that's what Chris has gone through, and he's out the other end going, no, nothing I can do about it. And you wonder to yourself, when he gets closer to it, will that change? I don't know. I just think of him as being a bloody strong man, strong-minded. He always was. He's done everything in the sport, and he really. I mean, and you just turn around to yourself.
7 gold medals.
Well, everybody's thrown things at me. My wife's got this as well. I think he's got kids, hasn't he?
He's got 2 young kids, 7 and 10 or something.
And I should think he's concentrating now on everything that I can do for my kids, everything that I can do. If they want to come out, I think they're adults now, teenagers or something.
No, they're only like 7 and 10.
Oh, are they? So he'll be going.
Really
I don't give a shit that they're coming out of school. If I want to take them to bloody Florida and swim with bloody dolphins, I will, because they'll have that type of attitude. And hey, more power to the pen and everything for it. Because, you know what I mean?
No, I mean,
you ain't going to deny someone like that, I tell you.
I mean, somebody said, I can't remember, somebody said to me a while back, maybe 5 years ago, whatever, don't worry about things you've got no control over.
No control.
You've got, and I do try and apply that philosophy in my life. Don't get me wrong, I still do worry about things, as we do. We've all got things that we worry about, but I do try and not worry about things. I mean, things like one of the big things for me is I worry about that I'm going to get ill. I'm not going to be able to work. I live on my own. Well, I've got her nibs next door. They'll probably be screaming and shouting. You can hear her. I keep telling her to shut up. What was I going to say? Yeah, I worry about that. I worry. Well, sorry, I don't worry. I think to myself, oh, what happens if I lose my job? I'm thinking, oh, fuck, how am I going to do it? I think, you know what? I'm a worker. And one of the things that I've read on LinkedIn, you go into LinkedIn and it's people losing their jobs and all this kind of stuff, and people are saying, who's going to employ like a 57-year-old? The great thing is you don't put your age in your CV, so they just look at you and you go, is this guy 57? Is he 47? They don't know, so it doesn't matter. But I just think to myself, I don't worry about it. I'll get a job, and you always.
I'm probably not quite there like that like you are, but I do think that since my health scare, I live one day at a time. So if something did happen to me on the day, I worry about it. The next day, I've reset. It takes me a day to reset still. You know what I mean? But I'm learning. I'm just basically going through life, and I tell you what, the
Well,
only thing that gets
yeah,
my goat is when if something attacks my mum or something affects my mum.
yeah, because
I think I've become that person that goes, you don't do that. You cross a line when you do that. Attack me. That's fair enough. Don't do that. You
yeah,
know, and I suppose you do the same with your daughter a little bit. You know,
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
trolling or say, and they were mentioning your daughter or
yeah,
something.
because
You would go ballistic. You know what I mean? You just go.
it's
It's like a
yeah,
red bull. It's like a red
yeah.
flag to a bull. You know.
Somebody, I mean, you've got opinions about stuff. You and I don't always agree, and that's life would be
No.
boring if you didn't. There's Steve. You and him fucking hate each other. You know what I mean? But you're
Yeah,
pals.
bastard.
Uh,
He's still a git. Little shit.
um, yeah, what was I going to say? But what the hell was I going to say? Yeah, but don't that. So if somebody says Dell's a cunt, that's fine. You can say whatever they
Yeah,
want. Don't slag your mum. What has
yeah,
she done to you? Nothing. So don't hit out at innocent people. And
yeah.
yeah, if somebody did that, you just get the red mist descending. You
That's
just
it.
like you'd want to.
And that's what's
Yeah,
happened,
yeah,
you know, a couple of times to me. But
yeah,
luckily, it's rare. It's just it's that it has happened, and it's not nice. Not nice.
yeah. Steve's saying there, he's a massive worrier and frequently gets myself worked up and stressed, almost to the point of tears. I know it's stupid, but I can't help it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
it's yeah. Uh,
I think through my life, I think I've worn my heart on my sleeve a little bit too much, and I think people have abused it.
yeah.
You know, oh, he's a soft touch. He's just told me every single weakness that I can probably use against him now.
Hmm.
And other people sort of like have kept stum and have gotten further because they haven't, you know, they haven't mentioned certain stuff that they should have, you know, that really there's no reason why not to. You know, I've done that for I must have been 20 or 30 years of my life, I should think. So
Yeah, yeah. When I was talking, there's a guy that used to sell hot dogs, Dan, the hot dog man. He came from Canada. He used to sell he's Canadian, and he opened up a hot dog stall just along the road. It's like the shopping precinct, and yeah, they're fantastic. But he's now retired, and there's a new guy who's taken over. And I was just talking to him about stuff, and what are we talking about? We're just two grumpy old men talking about how how young people are so motivated with possession and
yeah,
money and
yeah,
I says I says we've turned into a society where people they, I'm now at that age where to young people I am invisible. People just look through me. They don't see me. And what people don't understand is, and you've kind of you're a very generous person. People, what you've said before is you do it because you want to help somebody, but what people fail to see is you get an enormous amount of pleasure out of
oh
helping
god, yeah,
somebody. You do, and I'm not, and please, please, please do not think that that I'm that person that takes a photograph of me handing a tenner to a disabled person or a homeless person because they're just a bunch of absolute cunts. But I'll give you an example. Last week, and it does, yeah. I'm going to get probably people saying, "Ah, why did he mention that?" But it was just last week. I was in Farm Foods with Lee, and there was a guy in front of me with a wee boy, and he had a basket of messages, and he was going to pay for it, and I was waiting to get served, and he thinged with his card. I went, "Oh, it's been declined." Oh, fuck, right, okay. He thought, "Oh, it's been declined," and then he was on the phone, and I said to girls, "Everything all right?" She went, "No, he's." I says, "How much is it?" She goes, "Oh, £12." I says, "Look there, there's my card." And the guy heard me and he went, "No, no, no, it's all right, mate." No, he says, "No, my missus is just giving me some money, whatever it was." And Lee's like, why would you do that? I says, "What do you mean, why would I do that?" I says, "The guy he's with his kids, he's buying messages, he's got bread, he's got milk, he can't, he's, for whatever reason, he couldn't pay for it." I says,
yeah,
why would, don't get me wrong, I've never ever done that ever before, but I just thought, fucking 12, who cares?
two, two pints of lager in a pub.
And the guy went, "Oh, cheers, mate," and he shook my hand, and I went, "That's no problem," because I think I would love it if somebody did that for me. You don't do it to get back.
Yeah.
It's just, and and I said that to Lee. I said, because you don't. It's just you would go. In fact, if he had accepted it, I would have gone away thinking I've done something bloody nice, and that guy's probably thinking, okay, he'll tell people about that. I was in Hangman, I couldn't afford to pay, and this guy fucking paid for my Hangman. If the girl had said, "Oh, it's 30 quid or 40 quid," I'd be like,
"Oh yeah.
Go on, you fucking get your bastard fucking out of here."
Look. At the moment,
I mean,
I've always lived along the premise that 50 pence doesn't sound like too much, but if you haven't got 50 pence and you're on the street, 50 pence might as well be £500. But there have been times in my life where I've just turned around and said, "Do you know what? That's 2 pints of lager." I mean, and if I'd have been back in the day and I'd have bought 2 rounds, I wouldn't have even thought about it, twice. That I've just bought a couple of rounds. Somebody else hasn't bought one yet. I never looked at life like that. So.
My boss messaged me yesterday, and I've got three people that kind of work for me. I've got 2 lads in the warehouse, and I've got this other guy. And my boss messaged me, said, "Can you find out what these lads what do they drink or whatever it is, and let me know what you would like." So I like to kind of get my staff a wee Christmas present. So I messaged them back. I says, "I'll find out for you." I says, "However, don't get me anything." I says, "But you know what?" And then he phoned me in Teams, and I says, "See the fact." I says, "I actually knew you're. I'm quite a good judge of people." And I says, "I knew you'd be the type of person that would do that." I says, "And I think that's wonderful that you've even made that offer." I says, "I don't want anything." I says, "But the fact that you've even said that," I says, "Thank you very, very much." You went, "Oh no, it's fine, it's fine." So yeah, it's Craig. As Craig says here, it's called being a decent human being. It's just, I think it seems to be lacking. People just don't have the time of day for you nowadays, and I don't know.
What you been doing this week then? This blog
what have I been doing, mate? What have I been doing actually? I was getting my arse handed to me at pool on Tuesday. What day?
Standard Tuesday then, yeah.
Standard Tuesday, yeah. I was mostly fixing my computer. I bought a couple of. I think I probably told you I bought a couple of. I had 3 USB drives connected to my computer, which is fine. But I was conscious. I thought if they fail, and I know from personal experience that USB drives will fail. Well, any drive can fail, and I thought I'm going to lose. I mean, I've been collecting ROMs since 1990. Since I got the internet in 1997. I mean, nowadays you can go online, you can download like a terabyte and get everything. It's taken me 27 years to amass everything that I've got. And I thought, if I lose them, I'll be pretty fucking gutted. So I went on to Amazon, and I managed to buy. It came from America on Amazon. Buy 2 12 terabyte drives, and they came like 110 quid for the pair of them. I think they're reconditioned, but it gives me like 10 terabyte in each one. One of them, I noticed, I went onto my PC, and I was like, "Where the fuck's my films drive going?" Oh, fucking hell! Opened it up, and I noticed the SATA cable thing had come loose, so I pushed it back in, and it reappeared. I thought, that's fine. Then I put it back in the computer, and it fucking wasn't there again. Took it out, started fucking about with it. I swapped out the cables out the one that was working, put it into that. Then none of them worked. I'm like, oh, fucking don't believe it. I've lost like 20 terabytes of data. But then the penny dropped. I thought, wait a minute. When I bought them, you might be able to explain why. When I got the drives, it came with a little power adapter that you had to plug in. It wouldn't. I mean, it would physically fit in, but it must be the way it's configured or something. The power it needs this little power adapter extender.
There was a time where I used to buy hard drives, and they'd come with a cable that splits into 2.
Yeah, that's what this one does.
Right, and then it went to one USB port, and those ones used to bend like this, like crazy. And they used to knacker easy. But I avoid those a bit like the plague. But I know the ones you mean.
But anyway, I managed to figure out, and I plugged in the proper one and got them both working. But that was I don't know if you can see that. That was the ones that I was using, which is like that, and it
Oh,
just,
right, yeah.
they're a bit, they just slide out. But one of my mates gave me that, two of them. They've got the wee kind of connector on it.
Yeah,
So
SATA connectors, yeah.
yeah, well that's a SATA connector there, but that locks in place. So anyway, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all working. So that's I can take off my PC woes. So what have you been up to, mate, this week?
Ooh, not an awful lot, to be quite honest. I've been doing more walking. I go to physio now on a Monday, and I've got an exercise sheet, and I just try to fill that exercise sheet to show that I'm doing something. So I'm back to doing quite a bit of walking. The rest has really been looking after my mum and just doing some jobs. And when I get a spare bit of time, I'll see if I can play on a game or watch a film or something, you know. But I am getting closer to going back to work. So of course,
How are you feeling about
now,
that? Are you a bit nervous, a bit tense about it?
a bit, well, yeah. I mean, you have a bit of time off work, and you just go, oh, what's it going to be like when I go back? Because there was a lot of things that happened before I was off work, and some of those things could have contributed to me having a heart attack. So you get a little bit anxious about, is it just going to be the same thing when I go back? Are they going to be different to me? That sort of stuff. And I just go to myself, no, look forward to it. It'd be better. I mean, who wants to wake up each morning and bloody watch Loose Women and shit? No, I want to do back to where, I want to get back to what should be a regular thing,
I thought you were.
So.
Well, I don't know. Waking up to a loose woman actually sounds quite appealing, mate.
Oh yeah.
Send them over.
Yeah. Trouble is, Loose Women is now more Loose Men now.
Oh, it's on the telly. Oh, right. I was going to fucking hell, mate. It's obviously that fucking haircut that's pulling the chicks, mate.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. When you are attractive like me, get my left side.
I'll not ask you for any more because obviously you've got your blog with it. That's.
Yeah. I tell you what, the other thing is that I tend to find I've gotten into a new routine. I watch an awful lot of YouTube in the morning, and it's full of people, opening up the new Spectrum. All this week, it's been, my unboxing of Spectrum. Even Bazza H, who I haven't seen in 18 months, has come back going, here's my new Spectrum. And I'm going, bloody hell, it must be good if you haven't been around for 18 months, you've come out of the
I used to watch him, actually. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gets a bit kind of long in the tooth, doesn't it? I mean, very quickly, what's your thoughts on the Spectrum?
Exactly the same as I thought about the Mini 64. Only, well, to be quite honest, we know we don't call it the Maxi 64. It's much the same as that. I think it's a great thing, really, for anybody that wants a secondary Spectrum that's got concerns that their Spectrum's not going to last because they can't do capacitors and soldering and all of this sort of stuff. And they want something that they can just plug into the telly with one cable and you put a load of games on an SD card and you reminisce. It's absolutely marvelous.
How can you possibly fault it? It's not for me. I mean, I've got my Engo, and I've also bought. I've got a Just Spec, and I've also got the bloody the Spectrum Next as well. So I've got other ways plus the Mister. I've got other ways of playing that. But yeah, I mean, I've watched a couple of kind of unboxings, whatever. And yeah, it's a bit. One guy, he opened it up, and it's like 99% space with these big bits of lead and this tiny little fucking. Like, hell, seriously.
Lead weights to make it feel heavier than it actually is, and fits on your table without like being blown off with the wind or something.
Craig's asking, what is this new Spectrum? I'll let you explain and what it is.
Yeah, well, there's a company called Retro Games that must be 5-6 years ago now, decided let's bring back with all of these mini consoles and stuff. Let's start bringing back sort of like computer editions of it. And they came out with a Commodore 64, which was which just looked like one of these small Nintendo NESs and small SNESs. There's no working parts on them. There's a complimentary little door that might flap open where the cartridge might go in.
Yeah.
They put themselves like a Raspberry Pi inside it, something that's a little bit basic. Put a load of new connectors around it and wrote a front end where you can just choose your games from a sort of carousel type front interface. And hey presto, all of a sudden you've got yourself your old Commodore 64 in a small form factor. Later on, with computers, you realize, well, a lot of stuff used a keyboard, so they made a larger edition of it. It's exactly like the small one, only they put a big keyboard on top. Charged a bit more.
Yeah. I'm glad you called it the larger one, because people refer to it as the Maxi. I'm like, fuck off, the Maxi. I detest that phrase. I don't know why. It's a bit like retro games, Maxi. But yeah, I mean, it's exactly. I think it's great. It's like, I think it's 90 quid.
That's it. Yeah, it's 90 odd quid. Yeah,
for somebody who has never been into this hobby since they left school. They got a girlfriend and they did other things. It's a brilliant way to bring back memories, play Manic Miner and all that kind of stuff.
It takes you back in a mindset as well, because if I remember rightly, when the Spectrum came out, they came in two models, a 16 and a 48K model.
Yeah, I think it did.
I'm pretty sure the 16K was £99 and it was £124.99 for the 48K model.
Yeah.
And so they brought out this at 90 quid. I'm going, and you've got, more than just the spec, because you can put anything you want on it. You don't have to pay a penny really. So
does it do the 128 as well?
I haven't checked. When they turn it on, it's got the same carousel.
Yeah,
I've never seen it boot into. Oh, and let's see, because the 64 one, you can actually boot it up so it turns to the blue screen where you can.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody load it up where it's got Sinclair or Reality Games in the bottom left hand corner. I've got a funny feeling it's 128 plus. It's the +2 and all of that. I don't think it's anything.
I would imagine it would be. It's not like they're having to add anything to the price.
Yeah, because when you put the games in, you want those ones that play the music rather than the beep that you'd get from a buzzer. So I'm pretty sure it'll be the 128 +2 +3 and all of that sort of stuff.
Just kind of following on from that. One of the videos I watched, I can't remember. It's a retro gaming channel that I've heard. It's quite big. They're quite a big channel, and the guy started off. He says, retro games or whatever they're called. What's the name of the company?
They're called Retro Games.
Retro Games.
Yeah.
He says they came out with the Commodore 64 Mini. They came out with the bigger one. They brought out I can't remember.
The Amiga 500.
Yeah, Amiga 500. Then
Atari 400.
And then he said. He says, I've never got the Atari 400 because they never sent me one, blah, 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 blah. And I just thought, really? Anyway, and then he proceeds to talk about the Spectrum. And it's about an hour long, the video. And at the very, very, very end, literally the last 30 seconds, and he says, and before I go, a big thank you to Retro Games for sending me this. And I just thought, I put a comment, I says, enjoyable video. However, I think it would have been better if you had said right at the very start, I says, because I don't care what anybody says, I will never believe somebody giving an honest review when they're getting it for nothing. Because how can you? Because you didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
If you've paid 100 quid for it, it's your money. So that kind of annoyed me a wee bit. I was like, I wasn't going to put a thumbs down, but it did annoy me because you left it to the very, very end instead of being, I understand I'm not on that level. Nobody sends me anything to review. But I was going to say there's a lot of them, all the big YouTubers, they've all got them. They've all got this big box thing, whatever it is. And right at the start, they'll say, just for sort of audit purposes or transparency, this was given to me. That's fine. Yeah. Then you understand that, but to leave it to the very, very last minute, I just thought, that kind of annoyed me slightly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm so sorry that nobody sent you anything to review. I'll send you a Heinz tin of beans in the post for you next week.
I will review them. Yeah,
You
and
can review that then. There we are.
I'll get that out there right away.
We
Yeah.
tick that off the bucket list of things you got to do before you die.
OnlyFans and hardcore pornography. Yeah,
Oh,
that's the next thing I want to talk about. I happen to see when you're on YouTube, you get all this shit, and it's is it this morning? I can't remember who it is. What's the name of the guy? The black guy and Kat Deely. They were interviewing this girl. There's a young lady you might be familiar with her work. I can't remember what her name is. Anyway, she's a British actress. Or sorry, she calls herself a content creator. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like me, a content creator. Um, her thing is she's 28 years old, and her thing is she makes videos and she calls them barely legal because apparently she goes around colleges and she advertises to get young men at 18 years old so she can shag them and record. And she said that she makes £600,000 a month.
Yeah.
Which I quite believe. I can quite believe that because I can honestly say I've never. I mean, I know what OnlyFans is all about. It's effectively it's like Netflix, but for one person, whatever it is they're doing. Yeah, Craig's familiar with her work.
I probably watched it. Yeah.
Craig's come across her before. Yeah, I've. And I can't remember the name of the guy, the male host. He he was kind of saying, you know what? He says, I'm really not sure what I think of you. He says, part of you, I'm thinking that you're exploiting young men. I don't know. When I was 18-year-old, you'd be like, fucking quick, let's get to the local uni. But he says, and you're like a sexual predator. He says, but then part of me thinks you're an absolute genius because what you're doing is legal and you're making more money than you're making the same money as what probably 1%, the top 1% of like the Premiership week. She's making, I don't know, 600,000. She's making £500,000 a month. So she's making about, she'll probably have quite a short shelf life. Try saying that if you're Sean Connery.
Yeah.
But it's, and I came away thinking, you know, the thing that annoyed me about it, I actually put a comment on it again because I'm getting a monial bastard. I just thought, why is primetime TV giving people like her airtime? I says, because what's going to happen, you're going to get thousands of young little girls thinking, bloody hell, I can do that. I've got a camera. I've got a camera.
Worshippers, of what she does, now she looks and that,
Yeah. So there you go. That is going to actively encourage.
Yeah, and I have to start thinking about, I mean, you say 18-year-old men and all of that sort of stuff, but I remember that I'd left school by then, but there were people that went to upper school and high school, the equivalent to high school, I suppose. And they had just as many hang-ups that they hadn't lost their virginity or anything yet. And of course, they're going to be thinking that's one way I can get rid of it, I suppose. And they're going to have emotional scars, I think, or because if you think about it, if that's their first time and it's on camera, it's going to be with them for the rest of their lives. How's it going to that people could look it up?
Oh, their mates can see you.
There's all of that sort of stuff. And also, it's like if your first time losing your virginity was a threesome, then you naturally think that that's the norm. Do you know what I mean? And the things that she'd be doing in her bed for her camera is not natural lovemaking, that say a husband and wife would do. I'm just saying that there might be some sort of fruitier sort of like going on, and there'll be all that language that's used instead of oh God and Jesus. There'll probably be other stuff going on, and it can those men might grow up to be abusers because they think it's natural to call somebody a bitch or whatever it is. I mean, I worry a little bit about that side of things. And that's where I think he was coming across. I don't know whether to think of you as a sexual predator and a person that I should despise, but you've come up with a scheme that gets you as much money as a Premiership footballer. Like you said, you can go out and buy a house each week. That's what Premiership footballers can do.
I think if it was a guy that was on that and saying that he was having sex with, he was going to college and having sex with 18-year-old girls, they would tear him apart.
Oh yeah, there's that other side of the coin, isn't there? Yeah.
And here's the thing. Let's get the elephant out of the room. Always, when you see cases of sexual abuse, men abusing underage girls, it's fucking horrific, and I would quite happily stab these guys in the eye. I would kill them. But then when you see these stories of blah blah blah, teacher 23 had sex with this boy in the gym hall, blah 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 blah, and he's mentally scarred. He's like, yes.
Yeah,
you're a kid.
Right.
That was like your fantasy. You remember the bit in Animal House where when they're wrecking the procession at the end, and the wee boy's looking at a porn mag, and suddenly this girl falls through the roof onto his bed, and he's like, "Thank you, God."
Well, it's that old adage, isn't it? Because there was one drama that I saw that said, "Look, when women do what men do, we're called slags." And yet a man can have sex with all different age ranges, and it's nothing. So men have got all the power, and my answer to that was no, women have got all the power, because at the end of the day, if you ask a bloke, that's all blokes want: sex. They go to the pub, they fly them because they want sex. At the end of that, that's the only thing they do want. In other words, when that film came out, What Women Want, it was about 1.5 to 2 hours long. If they did a What Men Want version, it's 10 minutes long, because that's all that men want. Right? It is like that, and women have used that, I think, while all the time, because they know full well, oh, you just want to get in my knickers? Yeah, I want to get in your knickers and move on. Yeah, that would be me. That would be my perfect life. I've had my way with you. Go away. And in my younger years, I probably would have thought along those lines. I don't now, but it's just what I'm trying to say is, whenever women turned around and said that men have all the power, I always turned around and said, no, you've got all the power, love. As far as I'm concerned,
No, I know, but
a bloke having to go up to a woman and do all the hello, love, and all the chat up and all of that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, I just want to have a good night with you tonight, love.
Sorry, folks, if you're tuning in expecting to hear Del and I talking about what level of manic minor we can get to, we better get back to it. It just annoyed me, the fact that this person got airtime, and that is going to encourage.
Only fans really just pisses me off in regards to the fact that it's one step away from webcamming. If you. I mean, I think many people know that if you just do a search for something's going to come up at the top of your stream that will say Pornhub or something, right? It's one step away from that. OnlyFans is, because some people that are on OnlyFans just do selfies, and just do provocative cleavage shots and stuff. But there's pay me £5 for a minute and I'll show you everything, stuff.
When you think about it as well, I mean, we grew up in an era where, as a kid, page 3. I mean, it sounds archaic and ridiculous to think that we used to put a picture of women's tits in a newspaper.
Well, yeah,
and that was the first time I ever and seen Barbara Windsor and Carry On. That was like the only times that I'd ever seen like a woman's chest.
I swear blind, the Littlewoods catalogue was designed to open up on the bra page. I opened it up, bras. What's that? But I used to get embarrassed because I used to read the paper, and honestly, there'd be an article on the right of the hand side of Linda Lazardi's picture, and I'll be going, "I'm just reading that article. I am. Oh, it's interesting. This and yeah, you're looking at Linda Lazardi's tits, aren't you?" But, you know, and I used to get quite embarrassed. But it's funny how they put the best stories on.
But yeah, you know, it was whilst it is degrading to women, and I think it's right that it doesn't exist anymore. My point is, you know, like pornography, it was your mate knew somebody who had a tape, and you got a loan of it, and you watched it, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Now, a child can go onto their phone and watch hardcore porn.
Yeah.
And I think that is gonna fuck up some people's brains, because porn is not real life, whatever it is. But the fact that a child is watching that,
yeah, I just find it amazing that there are still
yeah.
areas of the world that think underage sex is legal. And because the internet is a worldwide thing, you're in the UK, you can go to those sites and see it. And that's what makes it like, wow. You really start thinking that if this stuff is going to be around and there's nothing that I can do about it, I'd certainly still want borders around England that says this is not legal in this country and there's no way that you can actually get to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about other countries. If they've made it legal and over there and you can do this, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather there be a great big force field around England that stops people doing that. And you'd have to go to Bangkok or whatever it is to actually see all that stuff. I mean, this is where it's so easy. We've had these Jimmy Saviles and Gary Glitters in our lives. You know, it's just ridiculous. You don't have to get into a plane anymore. It's on your doorstep. It's terrible.
Yeah. But just the fact that children can quite easily use a search engine, and that's it. Boom.
I'm gonna research something about war and peace on my phone, and bloody hell, there's boobs and penises in your face and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, right, let's. I know we've lost a couple of viewers. Hopefully, they're not too. Hopefully, they're not too offended. I'm going to move on to something else. That's going to. It's become my hot potato annoyance.
Yes, I know the thing, but go on.
I'm just getting so annoyed with it, and I'm getting and it's artificial intelligence, AI, and I'm not talking about, you know, AI in computer games. I'm talking about when you're on Facebook, you see a video of. I mean, I saw one other day there of this black bodybuilder, and he was like 9 feet tall, and he was like, "It's fucking gigantic," and there's this tiny wee woman standing next to it, and he's picking up this weight and all that. Oh, bloody hell, that's great. It's just fucking made up. It's made up. There's you see all these photographs of a massive white shark, and they're always black and white. And you see like the men with their caps on and the dog, and they're sitting beside this fucking white shark. Oh, where are we going with AI? Because I mean, for example, you can all see that fantastic painting. I'm calling it a painting that Bob did for me. I could probably rustle it up in AI in 5 seconds. So immediately it's taken away from talented people, whether you're an artist, whether you're a photographer, because you can make up things that you can't tell the difference. It's impossible to tell the difference. So like paintings, videos, songs, movies, everything now is false. And I was talking, who was I talking to? In fact, I was talking to my mate last night. I said, so if you were, I know you're a bit a kind of keen photographer, if you were out for one of your walks and you happen to see some astonishing, I don't know, like a bird, an eagle picking up like a baby sheep or something, and you fucking hell, you took a photograph of that, that's AI. Who can you argue with it? It's just AI is just killing. It's killing fucking society.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I've disabled it. There's a thing in the bottom of Windows 11. I can say, write a story about a boxing match between Dale and Allen in Egypt, fighting against an elephant or something, and it'll type this big fucking story. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just me. I hate where we're going with AI. I really,
Yeah.
really do.
Well, I do. It's difficult to say where the boundaries are with it. That's the difficulty, I think. You know, I saw that the BBC put out an article saying that they've now got Michael Parkinson doing an interview in AI. He's been dead for a couple of years, and he can now interview anybody that you want again, even though he's in his grave. And I'm going, whoa! Now this is where you're going a little bit too far. They've done the same with Peter Cushing. It's used all the time in films. This is where people in Hollywood are jumping up and down saying, I want something in my contract that says you can't use my likeness anywhere else, because what you're saying is you can put me in a film which I didn't even sign up to, and AI is pushing it out so that you can do that. You know, it's I think all of that's wrong. My camera's got AI in it, yeah, because there's a mode in it that allows me to take 10 photographs. It will stack them on the top and give you the best one. That's a
fine.
tool. That's a tool in AI that I don't mind. The thing I don't like is where the camera, you take a picture of one part of a landscape and the AI's done all the rest of it without me taking one photograph to the right or left of me. It's like, what?
What
I mean? I'm going, like, that's not right.
Yeah, it's like you get, is it the Google Pixel or something phone? You can take a photograph. I could take a photograph of you and fucking somebody standing next to you, and I'll just go, and then it draws the background in. So it's making up what it thinks is the background, and yeah, it looks impressive. But you know, what happened to the? I come down to see you, and your mum's here, and we get a picture, me, you, and your mum together. Oh, that's great. That's a nice picture. Now we can just go, right, I'll just take a picture of me. I'll get a picture of your mum, and I'll just go, bing, bing, bing. There's a picture of the three of us. Well, no, we weren't actually in the same space when that was taken.
The only way that would have happened in the past if you'd have double exposured it and all sorts of stuff like that, you know.
But I don't know. It's going from bad to worse. I hate it so much. I actually get quite up.
Well, Hollywood used to do what they call storyboarding, right? And they used to they used to film what the storyboard was. What they've got now is AI doing all those storyboards, and then you go out and film it. And I'm going, no, the storyboards was done by an artist that read the script, and in his head he went, this is how I want the camera to point, where I want it to look like, all of this sort of stuff. What would it have been like if Snow White back in 38 or something, they just drew one picture of the beginning part of every frame and AI did the rest of it, you know, that led up to the next frame, you know, the next hard drawing, and you know, it's that's bad. You've taken, I mean, you had 50 people that did all those frames of animation in between it, you know. I mean,
apart from the job aspect, we're getting rid of people's jobs. You're taking away any sort of, I mean, it doesn't affect me because I'm completely talentless. I can't draw, I can't sing, I can't play music, I can't do anything. So it's never going to affect me. But there's Bob. If he decides I'm going to, I mean, how can Bob compete if he decides I'm going to put out things like that? You know, I'm going to do a bespoke picture for somebody. You know, Alexa, draw a picture of Elvis Presley over a berserk background with thunder and lightning in the backgrounds. There you go. There it's there.
Yeah. We don't need you. Adobe can do that. Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. I mean, it was in the 90s. You could manipulate. As soon as a PC came along, I mean, I suppose you could say the Amiga could do it, but it was really when the PCs came along, we all had a paint shop, and you could just the fact that you could just go and delete a bit, you're manipulating a photograph.
Yeah.
And so you would see somebody, you would take a picture of like a UFO and go, "Oh, somebody's photoshopped that." Now it's AI and everything. I mean, I heard that the new Coca-Cola advert, which, I mean, Coca-Cola are probably the biggest company in the world, I would
Yeah.
imagine. Their Christmas adverts is something that people always look out for. It's, when the Coca-Cola advert, you see the truck coming in it, it's Christmas. It's a very nostalgic thing, happy memories. The latest one is all AI, including the people that are in it.
Yeah.
So there's no, it's
Colin did tell me that was a hot topic for him. My own Discord has been talking about another advert, which is the Boots one, for a whole totally different reason.
I've
But
not seen.
I've missed this.
Yeah.
I really want to see this Coke one, because to me, the Coke advert was the trucks with the fairy lights going through, and holidays are coming, holidays are coming. I mean, I remember all of that. Just like I
Well,
remember the R Whites advert. With the secret lemonade drinker. I mean, some of
yeah.
these things are our childhood, but I haven't seen this new Coke one, so
Well,
I
it's
really want
just
to see it.
it's the same, but it's just all computer generated now. So
No.
everything's perfect. It's got like the two polar bears, a little baby one, and cuddling the mummy one, and it's got yeah, it's got a guy, and it's got the girls and all that. Yeah, it's again, it's we'd all be as well just staying in our bedrooms or in our living rooms, and we'll not go out because we can just we can make things from our computers and all that.
Yeah.
It's killing it. And I feel for musicians and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I suppose like manipulating music has been a thing that's, is it like the auto tuner? I mean,
Yeah.
the most obvious auto tuner is like that Believe by Cher. It's like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so
Yeah.
artificial. But then they were doing it when they were doing it like Stockgate came Waterman with bloody Kylie Minogue and Jason Donovan. That was all, it was all manipulated. But yeah, we've now reached the point where, as you say, we can we can we can just do without paying actors. I mean, yeah, there's probably no film. There's very few films that are made nowadays that don't have AI. And anything that you do see, and the thing that gets me upset about it is it's doing people out of, it's taking away somebody's maybe spent years and years and years being fantastic at drawing or painting, or like I said, somebody who's a photographer going out and taking, you get all these photographs popping up on Facebook, and it's like, look at this bird lives in the Amazon rainforest, and it's got these beautiful rainbow colours feathers, and then folk are like, AI, oh fuck's sake, it's not even real,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, it
Or
just,
there's all those adverts that say go on this diet or something, and they show a picture of a fat woman, and then in the same pose to the right of it, it's here's what she looks like now. She's sitting on the same settee and everything, got the same, but she's thin or something, and you're going, you haven't even tried to hide the fact that you made that woman fat on that other side of the
I
picture. That's
watched,
what it actually looks like.
there was a guy, I watched a video a while back, a guy, he's one of these influencers, he's got the six pack and
Yeah.
all this, the muscles, and he was talking about these, wonder pills, and he said, I'm going to make one myself, and he drunk like 2 liters of water, took his top off, went like that, and he pushed out his belly, and he took a photograph, and he's got this big massive fat belly, and then the next day, once he'd fucking gone for a piss, he's back to having his ripped fucking six
Yeah.
pack
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Ugh. And it's like, fat cunt, look at this guy, he's a dude. It's the same guy. He was taken like 5 hours earlier.
Yeah. 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 But I think the thing that I think it's ideas being taken away as well as likeness that annoys me. You were talking about earlier on. You said I could type in 3 words and it'll write a book about these 3 words that
Yeah.
I've done. Just think there used to be people in the 60s that were called what they call ideas men, that wrote up slogans for salespeople. For Coca-Cola. All of that. Or it's the real thing and everything was came out of a brain of somebody in the 60s that was going to do a whole advertising campaign. If you've got a computer now that you just type the words in, then basically you don't need an ideas man anymore. You've actually wiped out a whole profession. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. This is wrong.
See when you actually think about this, and I know again, I'm just sorry for being so negative, but when you think about it overall, I mean, we were talking about, is it Wally, and Ben Elton did a book called Popcorn, and it's almost like Mirror in real life, and it's like people would call their kids Happy Meal and Big Mac and all this kind of stuff, and we've now reached this stage where you can work from home. You don't have to, if you want a takeaway, you get them, they deliver it to your house. You don't have to go to the cinema. You've got Netflix. You don't have to leave the house. We've actually reached this stage where you could actually survive. You could actually just never ever leave the house.
Yeah.
Like,
And then we are those people, like you say, Wally, that are sitting down on air cushioned chairs that basically float around, and the only thing you do is eat and shit.
And if you want to, yeah, and that annoys me when I see. I mean, I love VR. I think it's a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, why bother leaving the house and going to the gym when you can get this and you're going boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom,
Beat
boom.
Saber.
No, yeah, fuck off. That will never, using a VR headset will never replace going out running and all this kind of stuff. But I just get worried about where we're going in society. I mean, fortunately, I'm not going to be here in 30, 40 years' time to kind of see it where it all really just.
I think the danger is that we shouldn't, although we shouldn't have a society that's totally like the medicine, where you don't bring something out for 8 years until it's tested and all of this sort of stuff. I do agree, though, to a huge extent, that you don't bring out something as powerful as AI without having safeguards in its place to stop it in its tracks there and then. I mean, if you want to bring out aspirin or invent a new drug, it has to go through all sorts of stuff. And when it's out there, it's given out to certain people to dispense, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
If AI should be sort of like that, something that you dispense. It's like you want something, you have to go somewhere and prove that nobody else could actually do it. Sort of like you can't advertise a job locally, so you put an advert out for the whole of the country, and then whoever gets that job, it was perfectly level field. It wasn't geared for just one person, somebody internal to the company already. You had to prove that you actually did put the job out there for other people to go for. I feel sort of similar like that with AI. You know what I mean? You've got to, it should have a safeguard on it, and the World Wide Web should sort of have a cap on it as well. If you want all that porn, have that black porn that they were, or this porn that they were going to have, this World Wide Web 2 or whatever they were going to call it. Put it all out there and have this safe area that's where you can look up things on Wikipedia without having, boobs in your face and stuff. You know what I mean? It's we'll never have it. I could wish for it as long as I want. It will never happen, is how I look at it at the moment. It's just because the safeguards were never there in the first place when something as powerful as the internet was given to the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know.
You needed to have had that 5 years before it actually was given to us.
I mean, I would be, whilst my my kind of social kind of existence virtually is, I mean, I do other things with friends in real life and all that, but the internet is a huge part of my life, as it is with yourself.
Yeah.
We're sitting here, we're talking, we're mates, we've got these other people that we're friends with and all that. Where the hell is I going to go with that? Oh fuck! What was I talking about?
Well, the internet now, wide.
What I was going to say is, if somebody was to say to me, "Here's a button. If you press that, the internet will just switch off and it will never return. Do you want to press it? It's yours. I'll give you. I'll leave it in your house, and you can have it for a day, and you can choose whether to press that button." you know, and
Yeah.
it'll stop.
Do you know that's a Doctor Who question.
I would be struggling. I would really be struggling.
I don't want to go down the Doctor Who route, but Tom Baker had a Doctor Who episode called Genesis of the Daleks, and he said, if I put these two wires together, I destroy the Daleks. They're gone from existence. They'll never exist. But do I have the right? Do I have the right to do that? And the reason for it is, as much as we don't like the Daleks, other planets, and this is what the story was, other planets joined together to actually destroy them. And you're taking all of that away. So there is good that comes out of something that's bad. And it's the same thing with if you killed Hitler, World War wouldn't have happened. It's the same. It's the same God question, you know. And that's where. But I don't think AI is actually the God question. I just do think the internet should have had a safeguard that was there at the beginning. But I think it had its best intentions. We're going to make this the library of the world, you know, and who's going to stop somebody that comes up with beautiful words like that? I'm going to give them the power of being able to read to everybody in the world. You know what I mean? It's oh wow, yeah, have that out there.
I mean, I think my dad was around. He did. I mean, my dad was like the original Silver Surfer. You know, had his own website. I mean, he was in his 70s and all that. But yeah, I think the internet is one of the best things to happen to like mankind, but it's also one of the worst things because I could write down everything that's bad about the internet, but then on the flip side, there are so many good things.
Yeah,
you and I are entertaining 21 sad fucks who are sitting watching this on a Friday night when they should be watching something on Netflix. I mean, fucking Paramount. Go and watch Yellowstone or watch a film. What are you watching this shit for?
Yeah. I'm a celebrity started 4 minutes ago. Why hasn't all the figures dropped off yet? You know. Add to debts on you sad bastard.
Yeah. I mean, I do jest, but no, there are so many wonderful things about the internet, what it's allowed to do. But with power come, it's a bit like I always when people say, oh, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? You know, whatever you wish for happens. If somebody gave that to me, we would all be dead within 5 minutes.
Well, yeah.
You would be thinking, oh, I don't want Dale to die. I do want Dale to die. No, I don't. Boom. He's dead. Oh, yeah. I didn't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. But you know, it's just you would just think all the horrible things, and it would you know what I mean? It's anyway. I think we're getting a bit. Craig's away. Bye, Craig. No, I'm only joking, mate. I don't know. It's
a powerful subject and one that you could be debating for a week and you'd never get to the end. But I just hold up my hands and say AI is a tool that has so much good that could come from it, but you just know it's going to be manipulated more towards the bad. That's what's sad about things. I'm looking at things probably too much like that, and I don't want to.
Yeah, it's like anything. You give somebody the power, there's always people that are going to use it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But anyway, Fort Apocalypse, mate. I watched it. I didn't watch to the very end. I've watched 3/4 of it. I'm
going to give you a secret story about this. I looked back at it and went, I mentioned you a lot. I just wrote it back. How many times can I mention Alan or Mainmeister while I did a 20-minute
You know what's interesting? And I was at the in fact I forgot about that. I was at the computer club last night. What is interesting is, and that's why I like seeing somebody else playing a game that I've picked, because no matter how long you have been playing a game for, somebody will show you something and go, I didn't know that. Fucking hell. And one thing that you told me about Fort Apocalypse, even though I've completed it, not once but twice. In fact, you know what? The last twice I've played it, I've completed it. So it's one of these ones. And it took me like 40 years to get there. But what I didn't realise was the lasers that transport you. I kind of thought that was random. I thought it's random where it kills you, where it transports. But what you were doing was you were moving into one and it was going, no, hey, that's the one I want. You were like using that as a tool, whereas I kind of look upon it as like, oh fucking hell. So I didn't really appreciate that you could use them for your advantage.
I knew very early on that the blue lasers killed you.
Is there different coloured lasers?
Yeah.
Is there? So blue kills you, and is it the white?
The white, yellow ones don't.
Ah, well, there you go. I didn't know that. One thing that I can tell you about Fort Apocalypse, see when you're fueling up at the start.
You could just land. You could just land.
You were kind of going like that, and I'm going.
Yeah,
you can
it's
land.
One of those things where I was going, why when I just drop the joystick? Christ, I know I can land on that thing.
Oh, you knew you could land on it.
That was just offering. Oh yeah, there's lots of things where I'm going. I wouldn't do that normally if I was playing it, but because I know I'm being watched or on the camera, I'm being. I've always said I'm very very timid with games, right? Where I see other people that just go, and I said this about you. I said, do you know what? Alan will just go down the side of this mountain, fire, killing all these tanks, right?
Yeah.
I'm inching along.
But you know what I do? I look at the radar and I watch for it getting to the end, and then as it's moving that way, I come down and I chase it.
Yeah.
You have
See
to
what
use
I mean?
that. Yeah.
And I said, and this is a person that's not timid about the game and just goes, oh, if I die, I die. I'm there going, I need to save every life because I'm going to look like a real stupid bastard if I can't get any more than 500 points in this. So of course, when I was dropping down, I was going, why am I pushing up when I'm in? I can just land here and just do that. You know, of course I know it. I've played the game for 40 years. Even though I haven't picked it up and played it, and I've watched you play it, all of this, of course I know.
And I was screaming
it didn't come across like that in the video, and I know that. That.
What do you think? What do you think of the Atari? The Atari one is quite significantly better.
I tried to put it across, and I said, I played the 64 one for years and years and years. Hardly ever played the Atari one. The Atari one's snappier. It's more responsive.
It's got smooth scrolling as well. It's a much better game. The C64 is fantastic, but it's much better on the Atari.
Well, so when you mentioned the scrolling, I looked at that and I thought, I think that's just because it's quicker. It's fooling you into thinking it's smoother. I think because it's character-driven scrolling. I think if you look, it's not Iridium smooth, is it? That's hardware scrolling. If you look at it, it is of its time. It's just that remember the Atari is going like 0.700 hertz faster.
Mm.
And then you've got to also remember that it's drawing less lines on the screen because it's NTSC.
Yeah,
that's what the Atari right? And when you've got a smaller amount of lines it's got to draw,
it's going to be a bit
and
quicker.
You've got a clock that's faster. You're going, well, no wonder it looks bloody fast. And it's responsive.
What I might need to do is I might actually put out a video where I'll try and see if I can complete the C64 one.
Yeah, I think you would.
I might do that. Yeah, I might give that a go.
It's not that janky that you wouldn't.
Oh no, it's not. It's not.
It's minute, the difference, and that's why for years people debated. Nah, the Atari one's better. Nah, the 64 one's better. Because there was next to nothing in it, like Bruce Lee on between the Atari and the Commodore 64. More color, and all of this sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, they were virtually the same.
I'm just out of curiosity. I'm actually going to see. I think I've done a comparison with them. Let me have a quick.
Yeah, look. You have. I think.
Just for my own satisfaction.
I tell you what, you could just pick up one company, which is Synapse, right? And then go, here's the Atari 800 Synapse games. Here's the ones that came over to the 64. They all came out in 82 and 83. What's the difference between the two? Because I tell you now, I reckon it was a copy and paste because they were both written in 6502 for those processors, right?
You're talking about about Fort Apocalypse.
Well, yeah, Fort Apocalypse came out from Synapse.
Right, there's the
There is a reason why so many games that came out from Synapse.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go. So there, I've got them side by side.
so even the numbers are the same.
Oh yeah, it's almost it's almost
Because it's a copy and paste of code.
Yeah, see the scrolling in the C64 is. I think, yeah, I mean, the Atari one is definitely faster.
Yeah.
So maybe because it's faster, actually the scrolling's not that bad. I think it's just because it's, as you say, it's snappier. It's a bit
faster
quicker.
and it's got less lines to draw. Lines to draw. It is slightly narrower. Look. I mean, look, the Atari one's got those lines at top and the bottom, but to show you between the Navatron and the score.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
All of these little things are. I think if you were to count the pixels between that Navatron and the bottom of the screen, there would be less.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be by much, but it's enough to make the processor faster and draw the screen snappier and all the rest of it. You know.
I'm going to die. Oh, I can help. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting.
But you know, Synapse. What I'm trying to say is, all the early Synapse games came out from US Gold, and they all came out. They were all on the Atari. They were all on the Commodore 64. They almost looked the same. You know, Drelbs and all of that.
Yeah.
Most of those, I'd have loved to have been the programmer, because it was like, here's my game. I wrote it in 6502 assembly. What's the Commodore 64? Oh, 6502 assembly. Oh, I tell you what, that half of that code they just copied across and then just wrote the individual bits that were needed for the 64, like sprites are slightly larger and sound is slightly done different. That's all they had to do, because the rest of the code is the same.
Yeah.
It would have taken a month to convert it. You wrote a game on the Spectrum in Z80 and then had to port it across to the Commodore. Totally different thing.
So what we're saying is Atari 800 owners could have got Crazy Kong then, eh?
Yes. Yeah, they could have had that. We could have given that to them as a birthday present.
I've got to say, I was actually quite impressed the fact that you got to the second level, and I went and played it after I'd watched your video. And I got to the second level. I almost got to the end of the second level, but yeah, it's an
it's a pit. That
yeah.
I've said always through in this series that I did, it was like, I think people want to see me get frustrated, and I don't mind that, because I'm happy being frustrated. You know, it's like I turn away going, you bastards. You little shits.
I can honestly say, I didn't pick games to see you suffer. I picked games. Well, there was a couple. I mean, that Battle Squadron. I know you played the PC one. I wanted you to play the Mega Drive one, because I thought that game is impossible, and I wanted to see how you got on with it. But the other games, like
I did correct that though.
Yeah. What did you do? Did you play that? Did you?
Yeah, I did a second. I did a second video.
Oh, right. I never.
That's what I'm saying. I said I felt really bad. Here and Now is the Mega Drive version.
Right. And how did you find that one?
Bloody, it was exactly as I said. It was like there was. I'll tell you the one thing that I hate about it. Straight away, the first thing that I said about it is, you come on the screen invisible. I'm firing. What the fuck's that about? Hate that for a start. You know, the sound isn't the same. It's done with that Mega Drive sound chip, and I just
but no, the other games. Well, the other games that I've picked are favourite games of mine. I mean, Dino Eggs, or I'm going to call it Dino Eggs. I've always called it Dino. Dino Eggs, absolutely fantastic game.
Cheers. Love that game. That's one that you sort of like made me got quite addicted to, actually.
There's so much depth to it. When I was watching you playing it, you're like, oh, how can I get over? I'm like, go off the screen.
Yeah.
Go off this. And you're getting to the edge, and then you're going,
yeah. I turned back and go, you should have just kept going off the screen, you stupid shit.
So out of all that, I mean, how many games have you played in this series now?
54.
Is it? Bloody hell. What have you got a favourite? A game that you say, oh, I'll
Oh
definitely
my
play that again.
God. Nobody's ever even thought about that to
Yeah.
ask you.
Is there any games that you would play again because you enjoyed playing them?
Oh, already there are.
Yeah.
I've said I really want a hidden gem. I haven't really had a hidden gem yet, right?
Yeah, one that you don't know.
Right.
Well, Dino Eggs. Did you play Dino Eggs back in the day?
I've seen, yeah, but it's not a hidden gem if I've seen you play it.
Oh, right, okay, you've seen me play it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing why sometimes the YouTube can be your worst enemy, because it can be something that you see and go, oh, it really makes me want to play that. But it could also be, well, I've said everything there is to know about that game now. Don't need to play it anymore because it's like a big long walkthrough. I like things that entice me to play something. I didn't know Dino Eggs was on the PC. And it was in my Exodus 6. And I went, I'm going to have a little look at it.
Is it really? Oh, I've got Exodus 6.
And I tell you what, that's so snappy in that game. My God.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good
There's
evening.
2 versions. There's an EGA version and a VGA version. I didn't know that.
I'll need to give that a go. Good evening, Ben. We've got Benjamin, the Marvel and DC fan. Is he one of your people, Del? Benny?
No. Hello.
Yeah, that's a great
game. What are you following that DC shit for? It should say Benjamin the Marvel fan. No, I'm only joking.
What I might do, you know my video that I've not done for absolutely ages, and I use this. I call it the spreadsheet of doom. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Where my Excel spreadsheet randomly picks a game. What I might do for my choice number, is it 8, 7, 8?
Yeah.
I might use that. And
why not?
I might let that pick a game so that it'll be a game that I've never, that you don't know. I might do that actually.
Until today, where I did one today. Today was the first time where I could only play one game. All the other games have been snappy, and I die so many times I played 15, 16 games of it. Today's the first one where each game was 15 minutes long.
Is that right? Yeah. I've not watched that one yet.
Shit.
So another game that I picked, one of my favourites, Castle Wolfenstein.
Brilliant game.
It's look beyond the graphics, and it's actually a fucking superb game.
I hope I came across and said that enough, because
you did.
I really wanted to go across and say, look, back in the day, we had to fill in the blanks. If you're going through a bloody chest, right? You're going through a chest looking for something, right?
Yeah.
Isn't going to be something done in seconds. That's why it's got this like
timer,
180 seconds or something, right? He's hiding in the shadows while some bloke is going along with a torch, seeing if anybody's around or something, trying to escape all that. Well, then, of course, you're timid looking through this. You don't want to make a noise, and you're creeping around. I didn't know about the bullet, though, firing at the chest.
I found that. I think I might have found that out.
I thought I was ingenious there by going, right, I'll hit pause. Then I unpaused it. It was like seconds to you. Bloody 3 minutes I've been sitting here, bastards.
Yeah, if you shoot the chest and it does come down. Not always, but a brilliant game. But no, as I said, it's nice to. What's interesting is seeing somebody playing a game. You go, oh bloody hell! In fact, I was watching one of my mates at the computer club last night, and he was playing R-Type, and the second level where it looks like lungs. It's got all the tubes and the snakes going around, and then it goes down inside. And it's got this pulsing eye, whatever the hell it is. I always sit on top of that, and it will kill it. But my mate parked at the bottom, and I was, oh, that's how we do it. So you're seeing different techniques.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I discovered in a game that I love and I've been playing for years, and I discovered purely by accident, is Rolling Thunder on the second level, where you walk along, you jump up all the crates, and then you got a couple of guys trying to kill you. Then you jump over, but you've got to time it right, or not time it right. You've got to get the right accuracy, because if not, you just plummet to your death.
Yeah.
Do you know the bit I'm talking about?
No. But I do know the bit that you're talking about, but not from a point of view of me playing that bit and doing it.
Let me
I'm going to ask
you
a question, though, just while you're doing that. Have you ever done an interview, Alan, of a bloke that's coded a game, and you've played the game that he coded, and he told you about why he wrote it that way?
What, actually playing the game when he's there?
Yeah. There's this guy called Chronologically Gaming that I've been talking about in my blog for quite a while, right? He's reviewing every game ever from 1979, and he's up to 1982 at the moment. Last week, he had the bloke from who wrote E.T. on.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And he wrote Raiders of the Lost Ark as well, right? And no word of a lie, the guy was playing E.T., and the guy was telling him how he coded it, why he coded it that way, why he was playing it wrong, and all those myths went away because he actually was playing it while he was there. And he said, "Look, I can't get ET out the pit." And he said, "Yeah, that's because you got to hold the button down and move it to the right." And that and the reason that you move up and you're in the forest and you move up again and you're back to where you were, where you'd think you'd need to go down, is because the way I coded it. It's like a Rubik's cube. You got to think of the cube spinning round. I was going, wow, I understand it now. I didn't know if you've ever done one of those.
I might need to get Jeff Minter and play Mama Llama. What the fuck was all that about?
Yeah, because we'd all like to know.
No, I mean, I've never. Well, as you know, I've spoke to lots of people who are like heroes of mine, but I've never actually had them on as I'm playing the game. I mean, obviously, I've dissected the game like Richard Leinfelder talking about, why did it make it so difficult and all this kind of stuff.
Might be something. All I'm saying is it might be something to consider to just put, right, I'm loading up Cauldron now. And I'm going to play it while you just have a little chat, and he'll see it as well, and he'll be going, "Yeah, look, you see the clock's going down, you see," and all. It makes it more graphically aware to what you were actually talking about.
I think I might have.
You could do that with Sensible Soccer.
I'm sure. Did I not play a game? During the 12-hour live stream? Did I not play a game? And we had somebody on. I can't remember. And well, I was playing Nick's Burger Time, obviously. But I might have, when I've had the Andy Walker from Task Set software on a couple of times, and I might have been not playing the game when I was talking because, for starters, I always think if these guys have got the decency to give up their time and come and talk to me, the very least I can do is give them my full attention. But I think I've certainly kind of, and this is a phrase I hate, deep dived into, like, why did you make this? Why did that do that? Whatever it is. But I mean, it's something.
Yeah, maybe you could do a deep dive of when you introduce them back. You could just do a deep dive of their most classic game and just go, look, I'm going to put this on and play it while you actually talk about how you actually did this.
Well, I might get Mr. Walker on. He's always grateful to be invited onto these things, which again I find flabbergasting. Anyway, let's Rolling Thunder. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, I know the second level. I always love the fact that he's got long legs.
Agent Albatross. What a cool looking dude he's. Right, let's.
He's got the haircut that Bond.
Let's hopefully get to the. Here we go. Right, so.
I reckon he's Scottish.
Oh, no, this is. You Sean Connery. Right, let's get along. Hopefully I can get past this bit.
Yeah, you jump off the edge and it goes down.
Yeah, I can probably.
Oh, that's the fact.
This bit. Oof, I managed it. Let's hopefully die.
Yeah, because normally you'd jump off and go down the bottom, wouldn't you?
All right, I'm actually doing pretty well that time. Yeah, but that jump, if you don't time it perfectly, I can't remember.
You fall down and go down the bottom.
I think you've got to jump. See that the last pillar, you've got to jump when that's in the centre of your body. But yeah, if you don't, you just fall all the way down. But what
and then you've got to go all the way up the other side. Yeah.
Well, no, you die. You fall down and die. But what I discovered last week was, if you hold the joystick to the left, he actually moves. You can control how he moves left or right.
Oh.
And if you move to the left, he just lands at the bottom, and then you can go back up.
No, I didn't know that. No,
so,
didn't know that.
The number of games that I've played at that, got to that bit and then lost all my life. So like, fuck's sake. But yeah, there you go. It's just something. That's what I'm saying. It's nice to see people playing games, and you realise.
I think everybody's got their certain game like this one. I remember when I first played Ghosts and Goblins, and I was so awed by the Ghosts and Goblins. I actually shot, I don't know how many shots into each gravestone until I knew which ones turned me into a duck and which ones. I mean, I wanted to know everything about this guy. I'm going to sit here and fire 20 shots on this gravestone. Now I'm going to do 30 shots. Now I'm going to do 40 shots. Right, I've given up with that. I'll go to the second stone. I did the same thing until I went all the way through the graveyard and knew, which ones did what. I did silly things like that. I wanted to know everything. And it came from that Marble Madness. Do you remember on the first level? And it looked like you could jump out where it says goal at the bottom. You thought you could jump off and go over the far left.
Oh, yeah.
Go up the you thought it might give you a level skip or something, right? Stupid stuff like that. This is where games have got myths, where people has turned around and said in the past, oh, yeah, I've jumped across there and I got to level 4. Bollocks, did you? That's not even in it. And people come up with these myths, we it's because the programmer purposely wrote 2 and 3 and 1 and 5 or something over there to make you think that you could do a level skip. It's all subterfuge, it's urban myths. It's great.
Actually doing pretty well at this one, actually. Yeah, level 3.
Yeah. It's almost like you cheated.
I know, I was just thinking that. I know it's anyway, there we go. There's level 3. Anyway, right, enough of that. But yeah, like I said, I like to it's interesting. The games that I've picked for you to play, I've not picked them just all because I like that game. Because it's a game that I enjoy so much, I wanted to see how somebody else plays it. And
yeah, you want to see it. You want to see me balls it up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've taught me a thing about the lasers. You're discovering stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Right, we're getting too upbeat. I want to start being negative again.
Right.
When I was at the computer club, one of my friends, he loves his gadgets. He buys stuff from AliExpress and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
And he's got this little. It's I don't know. It's the size. I don't know. It's the size of maybe a packet of cigarettes, maybe slightly smaller.
Yeah.
But it's a standalone computer, and it's got a built-in screen. I think the screen's like 1 inch by half an inch. It's a novelty thing. But he showed me a thing that he got for it, and what it does is it creates it creates a Wi-Fi hotspot. So if I had that, if I was sitting in McDonald's and you're in McDonald's, you go, I'll see if I can get the Wi-Fi, and it comes up free Wi-Fi. Oh, fucking hell, I'll go into free Wi-Fi. You connect to that free Wi-Fi, it sends all your login details, all your Google passwords and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It basically, what's the word for it? Harvests your details.
Oh yeah.
That is fucking terrifying that these things are existing, and that's the.
Oh yeah, and I bet you any money the thing was made in China, which is why the Americans don't do anything with China.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck. See, and he had I think it was a couple of months ago. He had this other thing. I don't know if he's I don't know if Neil's watching tonight. He had this other thing where the car that I've got has got central lock-in, and you need to have it doesn't actually have a key that you plug in. It's just the key you have in your pocket.
Yeah.
And you have to have that in your pocket. And he fucking unlocked my car using these. I'm like, what are you doing?
We've had 3 cars stolen off of the drive in our street for the same thing. And the worst thing that you can do is put your house key on your key ring of your car and keep it hanging in the door on the other side, because they scan the key fob from the other side of the door, and then they just opened your door.
Right. Well, I'll need to stop doing that because that's
So,
exactly what I
so
do.
what you need to do is you need to put your keys in the kitchen or something that's like free and like 20, at least 20, 30 foot away from the front door. Because they just have, you only have to have a mobile phone app and basically just span it at the door, and it will scan and get your code. And that's all that you need for, is a mobile phone app to do it. My sister took our house key away, and I had to put my key in the door to do it. And of course it's tied to my car key. The other thing for not having your house key on your car key, by the way, is if somebody nicks your car, they've got your house key.
Yeah.
And if you've got a sat nav in there that's also called home, all they've got to do is say,
That's
"Get me home."
true. You
And
know
they're
what?
they're in your house.
I never gave that any thought, actually.
So you've given them every opportunity just by having the house key on your key ring of your car key.
Aye, and as you say, last destination home. Yeah, you know what? I never gave that.
If you are going to put your house in your sat nav, just don't call it home.
Aye.
Call it Bat Cave, whatever you want. Just you call it home, you're asking for abuse.
Or police station or something. Yeah.
Call it police station.
You know what? I never gave that any thought, and I'm going to. Hang on a second. I'm going to stop.
I'll tell you what.
Right now.
I've learned so much being in the probation service and talking to offenders.
Yeah.
They know the opportunities. They know what they did and how they did it, and living on the streets, what they did to survive. And they only had to get in touch with people that were a little bit techie savvy, and they learned. No, they were stealing 20, 30 cars a week.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, that's because then
that's why my dad always turned around and said, "I'll only ever buy a car with a key."
Yeah.
Buy anything with that electronic stuff in it.
Because then when I got home, and then he went into the house, then I went to start the car, and it's like no key found. I'm like, fuck's sake, because he's fucked off. It's like, I can't find the key.
And he's took the personal ID of your key, so that's it. So it's
and then I had to take my key out and kind of wave it about for a wee bit, and then it kind of picked it up.
Yeah,
but
or get your spare key.
Yeah,
that's the other one.
So that's the downside to technology. I can't remember if I mentioned it. Did I mention in my waffle about how I was able to remotely unlock my car? Did I mention that?
No, I don't remember you mentioning it.
When I was down in London about a month ago with Ava, we were going to get a train from Livingston to Edinburgh, and then from Edinburgh to King's Cross. 10 minutes before the train was due to arrive in Livingston, they said the last 3 trains had been cancelled, and everybody's saying, the next one's going to be cancelled. And we thought, you know what, we can't. If we wait for it to turn up and it doesn't turn up, then we're going to be screwed. So I said to Eva, right, listen, we're going to have to drive to Edinburgh. I thought, fuck, what could I do? I know what I'll do. I'll park at Lee's son, who lives in London. He's bought himself a flat in Leith in Edinburgh. It's a beautiful flat.
I think I've been there, haven't I, at that flat? No.
No.
Oh no, that was your friends that you looked after the flat for, wasn't
it? Who was that? No, anyway. Oh yeah, I've been. Yeah, well, he owns a flat in London. Yeah, you've been to Ben's house in London.
Yeah. There you go.
He rents that, but he's actually bought a flat in Edinburgh. Anyway, cut a long story short, I thought, right, listen, we'll drive to Ben's house and we'll leave the car at his house, and then it's a 10-minute walk to Waverley Station. So we did that. We parked the car, walked to the train station, got on the train to London, and then as we'd been on the train about an hour, and then Lee called me, and I told her what had happened. She went, "Where did you leave the car?" I says, "Outside Ben's house." "You've got to pay for parking there." I went, "Oh, you're joking." She went, "You're going to get you're going to get like a £200 fine. And if you're there for 3 days, you're probably going to get 2 per day.
600,
And
800
I'm
quid.
like, oh, I don't believe it. Anyway, cut a long story short, she said, look, what I can do is I can drive, again, 30 miles to your house, go into your house, get your spare car key, drive 20 miles to Edinburgh,
Christ.
unlock it. Now, Lee's because she's got back issues, etc. She is technically classed as disabled. She's got a disabled badge.
Yeah. I see.
And which kind of circumnavigates that. So she was going to come to my house, pick up my car key, drive to Edinburgh, put the disabled thing in it, and whatever. I'm like, right, okay. Then it just crossed my mind. I thought, wait a minute, I've got an app on my phone, and I can go in and I can remotely unlock it. But I thought it can be a wee bit temperamental. So
Yeah.
I think I was at Newcastle at this point. So I got the phone out and it's like status updated now. And it says locked. I thought, right, okay. So it's like unlocked, and it came up sending to car. Successfully sent to car. Status unlocked. I'm like, that's now telling me that my car 200 miles away is now unlocked. So then I thought, you know what? I'm going to lock it again. So I did it. It says locked. And I thought, right, it's successfully unlocked it. Now I better unlock it again, because if I do get out of signal range or whatever, and Lee, because then I phoned Lee, I says, listen, I've saved you 40 miles. I can unlock it remotely and then I can lock it again. So anyway, she says, right, that's fine. Then I thought to myself, what happens if she gets to Edinburgh and it fucking doesn't unlock? And she'll be like, "Arr!"
Yeah,
And
that'd
then
be the sodding thing that had happened to me.
Yeah. So I unlocked it again, and then she phoned me about an hour later. She goes, right, that's the thing in it. I goes, did it unlock? Yep. I goes, right, I'm going to lock it. And she went, oh, the mirrors have just gone in. so I was able to remotely unlock and lock my car. So that's technology that saved my arse.
Yeah.
As it turns out, Saturdays and Sundays you can park for free, so I'd have been fine. But it was a Friday,
Oh,
and by time I didn't know that at the time, but by time she got to Edinburgh, it was about 1 o'clock, and my car had been sitting on for about 4 hours. So I was really lucky that I didn't get any.
I look at that as being it's better to be safe than sorry. A story, as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't want anybody to have a £600 fine because of something stupid.
Well, that would have been that would have just been slightly annoying. So yeah, before I forget, in fact, we'll tell you what Steve's asking. Do you have any nice and nasties coming out? I do. I've not got any recorded as yet. I have got. I think I've got about 6 that I'm waiting to agree dates for. I should hope. I'm thinking I'm recording. I was meant to be recording one on Sunday, but I can't make Sunday anymore. But I'm recording one on Monday. I'll not tell you who it is, which will be going out on Tuesday. So there will be one coming out on Tuesday. I was talking in Discord about being a man of a certain age. When you're in bed, you sometimes make noises, snoring.
Snoring, yeah.
I'm not. Well, I'm not a big snorer, but over the last year, when I go through to see Lee, night, go to sleep, probably half a dozen times during the night, she'll be like, "You're snoring,"
elbow in the back,
and then that's me wide awake. Oh fucking hell! I go back to sleep again. You're snoring. So this goes on all the time, and I was getting to. I think I went in a bit of huff because she kind of like, "Oh, you're snoring," and I go, "Right, I'm just going into the spare bed," and I went into the spare room, and anyway, that was that. But when I got home that night, I thought, I'm going to see how bad it is. So I actually recorded. I set the recorder on my phone, and I recorded my sleep. And it's like there's nothing. I'm like bloody Sleeping Beauty for the first hour and a half. Then it kicks in, and it's not like horrible snoring, but it's like my mouth must be shut, and I go,
Right.
Now, that is like a fucking tripping tap, and it would drive you insane. I'm like, I totally get it. So I asked in Discord, I says, does anybody have any suggestions about
Yeah,
snoring?
I
And
gave one. Yeah.
yeah, pillow over the face was it? I can't remember, was it?
No, there's those molded foam pillars that what it is that when you think about how your back and your head is and where your neck is, there's an indent.
Mm,
So if you get a pillar that is flush with the bed and it has a rise and then a fall where your head would go in,
yeah, yeah.
it means that your neck would be open, your throat
Mm-hmm.
would be open totally. Because if you have your pillars too high, you're down like this, and it stops your throat from being open.
Yeah,
And if you only have one, then of course you're still not level with your back. I'm sure you've seen these
yeah,
memory foam out. So they make pillars like that. And I was
yeah,
always told it's the fatty tissue at the back of behind your tongue that causes the vibration to occur. It's how your tongue attaches to your throat, and it gets narrower and narrower and narrower.
apparently,
It's
yeah,
worse for smokers or something, It's,
yeah. I think it's what happens is, yeah, your the muscles in your neck relax, and so the gap, your windpipe narrows, and as you say, it's relaxed. Then you're breathing in, it goes, and it
yeah,
starts. And I mean, yeah, it's fucking horrendous. I mean, you see if you're like overweight or you smoke or all that kind of stuff. Um, if I get pushed, then I snore worse. It must be because of my I don't know, your throat must relax more. But anyway, it's one of these things. It's like losing weight. There's no such thing as a magic pill. I don't think there's a definitive
no.
anti-snoring thing. So
Well,
I had a
there's
look.
always going to be someone that will just turn around and say that can't be true because if I sleep on my side, my tongue won't be gravity won't be pulling it down; it'll be pulling it to the left, and
Yeah,
all of
well,
this. You know what I mean? There'll always be someone that will come up with the no, that ain't going to work. You need to do it this way because blah 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 blah. And
the weird and oh, nice one, Ross. Listen, Ross, what to do? Are you Ross? I don't know if you're in Discord. Send me go into my Discord channel. I haven't a clue what the hell that is.
I can put
Uh,
it in. Hang on.
yeah, if Dale can do it, go to my Discord channel. Send me a message, and we'll get in touch, mate. It's like it says. It doesn't have to be people that are well known. It's just nice listening to people talking about video games. So yeah, absolutely. Let me know. But yeah, I used to if I turned on my side, if I lie on my back, then that's when my snoring's worse. If I lie on my side or face down, it's all right. But even that now, I still snore when
Yeah,
it's when I'm doing that. Anyway, I thought right, I'll have a look on Amazon, and I plumped for it's like a gum shield, but
that's right. That's what
it's
Panther talked about. I think
yeah, it's up and down. So you imagine it not just in the top, it's actually bottom as well.
keeps
And
you
what it,
keeps your jaw
yeah,
totally
it
like
keeps
that, so your tongue has to be forward. So
yeah, it
basically,
pushes your bottom jaw ever so slightly forwards,
yeah,
and it works. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. Um, when you put it in, it's fine for a wee while, and then you almost think fucking hell. It feels like my mouth is in traction. I can't move my mouth, and it's a wee bit uncomfortable. But I kind of persevered with it just when I'm in my own bed, and I've kind of got used to it. So when I was through at Lee's last weekend, she was going to put her earplugs on. I says, "No, don't bother. Here we go." And that was it. And I slept with it in, and she said I snored once, and it wasn't really that bad. And I recorded myself with it in, and at no point, yeah, you get a bit of heavy breathing, whatever, nothing severe,
no,
nothing
she'll
crazy
like
comes up.
that.
So, yeah, it was fine. So, because a few guys were asking, it certainly Panther recommended it to me. I've bought it. I think it was 19 quid or something. It's not cheap, but it definitely works. So, if you have a problem with snoring, you've got your other half annoys the hell out of them. I would suggest that, a mouth guard off Amazon. If you want me to put a link, I can certainly do it. But that definitely worked for me. Yeah, we're all good again.
Is there any danger though about it causing any irritation to your gums?
No, because it's just your teeth. I mean, you put it in boiling water, and then you bite into it, and it's like when you buy a gum shield.
Have you seen those ones though that have been on the internet? They make me laugh. Because I look at them as being those same scams that said you can clean your ears with these cameras that you stick in your, you can actually clean your own ear with a camera sticking down in your ear.
Guilty. I bought one of them. Yeah, right. It does work, but I wouldn't recommend it.
There's ones where you don't need a toothbrush anymore because what you need to do is stick this guard up into your teeth, and it cleans your teeth from the, by this molded thing, that you basically put in. It cleans your teeth.
Well, it gets into all the weekend gaps, like, or what?
Yeah, no, it is like a guard that you'd have for boxing, and it actually cleans your teeth while you're wearing it. And I'm going, seriously? Then surely then I've got to have this thing molded to my own individual taste, because certain people haven't even got teeth where these things are. So how does this thing work? And I'm sure I'm going, people must be stupid, right? Because it's just like that ear thing. There are technicians that clean your ears out, right? Because they can see into your ear. You can't. How depth of field do you think you've got to actually pull the wax out your ears? There is no camera that would be able to give you that depth. You'd be poking into your
I bought one. And it does work. I mean, you use your phone.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like that. And I mean, it's hot. You can see your fucking eardrum. It's like, and if you touch it, it's like, fucking hell. The thing is, you're looking at it, and like there's a bit of wax over there, and
it's reversed.
Like that, but it's all reversed. And the problem is, you go, fucking hell. I've got like the iceberg that sunk the Titanic inside of my ear. Hang on, let me get it out. And it's like, fucking hell, it's enormous. And you get it out, and it's fucking minute.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what? It's absolutely tiny. It's like, Jesus Christ. So,
but those things apparently are illegal now. But that you sometimes still see, on YouTube, I've bought this thing and you need to go out and get it. And there was this guy, and he was going, and all the stuff. Look at this, look at how much I pulled out. What?
Maybe I need to do a main Meister looks at. I'll remove some earwax.
Yeah. Ideas that were bad from the start.
But like I said, you think you're getting out this huge golf ball size of wax, and it's fucking minute. Like, that's it. Jesus.
Yeah.
But that's quite a thing, mate. Listen, I've just got one last thing I want to talk about. We're kind of getting to. I want to wrap up.
Just before you did anybody leave any questions from last week? Or are you gonna build them up for 2 weeks again?
I'm going to leave it because see the problem when I do these live streams. In fact, can anybody come up with some questions that I'm going to answer next week? Because
just to make it for a waffle, yeah.
The problem is when I do these live ones, everybody that's going to watch the waffle has watched it. They've probably watched it live. And
the only reason I brought that up was because I remember you were saying, just like last week, and it's quite true. It's like, if you don't bring me some stuff for me to talk about, then basically I'm dead in the water. And then the next week you're doing a live one, and I'm going, well. Are they doing
doing a live one when I've got something yourself to talk about, you can just blather. Whereas you don't have you take you out the equation. It's just me, and it's difficult. It's not.
I totally get it.
It's not easy to have a conversation with yourself unless you've got specific. I mean, I did write down quite a few things, so I could have been talking about them. But honestly, guys, if there's anything, even like a subject matter, like I said, it doesn't have to be what's your favourite colour, or I don't know, the BBC Micro. What's your thoughts on it? Give me a couple of questions. Put some stuff in this, and then that'll give me some stuff to talk about next week.
And I just want to say thanks to everybody that's kept me going for the last 145 weeks, because I tell you what, I don't know what I'd be talking about.
To think you were like, me and Panther were trying to convince you to make your own content. You're like, oh, I don't know, I don't really know. I'm quite nervous and all that kind of stuff. And here you are, 3 years on, eh?
Yeah, I know.
How are you? I mean, how are you enjoying YouTube?
Oh, I love it because it's my therapy now.
Mm-hmm.
I get up in the morning on a Sunday and I'm really looking forward to get this off my chest. Or talk about what my week, and talk about my mum, and talk about even things like what we talk about every year, which is, should I be eating or should I turn the gas on this week, this winter, and all of this sort of stuff. You know, these are things that are on my mind, you know. And it's my diary, and this is what I'd be writing in a diary. If I had a book in front of me, I'd be writing these things down. These things can kick me in the ass later on, because, you know, it might upset some people, or some people might think, you know, why don't you talk about that anymore, or why don't you talk about that? In your diary, you write down all the things that disappoint you and all the things that make you happy. And if somebody takes it the wrong way and thinks you're talking about them, then basically they can be quite upset about it. I've always put at the beginning of my stuff that this is a warts and all blog, and it's not about a particular person. It's what's in my head, how somebody made me feel. I have to say, well, that on that day they made me feel that way. I don't feel anything bad about it. I'm still talking to these people. I'm just letting you know, hey, some people wear their heart on their sleeves, and that actually offended me or upset me, but I'm still in good spirits with them. You know what I mean? I always turn around and say that it's how I felt at the time. That's what women have done about relationships all the time. They went, I went out with my boy tonight and he treated me like really nice, but then he tried to basically get my bra off at the end of the night, so I slapped him and went home. That's what women would do in their diaries, and it's their deepest thoughts, and why men should never look for women's diaries, you know, because they go, oh, you shouldn't be reading that. That's the deepest thoughts that I've, you know, that's what my blog is.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's, as you say, it's a diary. I mean, what's kind of unusual about it is a diary that you're keeping for you and for
my nieces and nephews,
your family, whatever. And it just happens you're opening it up for other people to watch, and some people may not like what you're saying about it. I've, and I'm not going to go into any details or talk about whoever it is, but I've stumbled over like stuff that I should never have seen, and I've been upset about it. And I'm thinking, well, I've got no right to be upset about it because it was never intended for my eyes. We've all done it. We've all done it. I guarantee, if you say you're not, then you're a lying bastard. You'll have been on the phone to somebody, and you know, or somebody will phone you, like your boss or whatever. Oh, Craig, have you done that document yet? Oh, yeah. No, not yet. I'll get it done. Right. Well, I need to get it done. Right. Okay. Right. All right. Cheers, then. See you. Fuck off, you fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
And we've all done it. I used to manage. I used to manage cleaners through in Glasgow, and if you can manage cleaners, you can manage it. It's like trying to get cats into a fucking cardboard box. It's hopeless.
Yeah, squabbling.
And there was this one woman, and Maria, her name was. She was at Clydebank Job Centre, and she was as rough as fuck. But you know, I got on great with her, and I remember phoning me up. She phoned me up one day. Alan, have you done such and such? Have you ordered my my new brooms? I told you I need some new brooms. Oh yeah, I'll get it done. Right. Aye. Make sure you get it done, because I've only got one left, and blah blah blah. Right, okay, Maria. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Right, okay. Right, bye. And she said that thing. Bye. And I couldn't put the phone down. Fucking useless, fucking bastard.
And you forgot to put the phone down.
And then I said to her, I says, oh, useless bastard, am I? What are you talking about? As soon as I heard what you said, I would fucking say that to your face. I goes, you know what, you would. So, but yeah, don't So I was talking. I can't remember who I was talking to. Somebody was saying to me, if you're in a relationship or whatever it is, or even if it's a friend, whatever, and I've never ever done that, because you don't do that.
Yeah.
But if you picked their phone, they went for a piss, and you picked their phone up and you went, oh, let's go and look at their WhatsApp. You might not like what you see, so don't fucking do it, because
Yeah.
it's not you've got no right doing that.
I've fallen into a trick now, which I do for myself. I never say something's really upset me now. I usually use the word now despondent, which I think is a much better word. So at the moment that somebody said something to me, I was despondent for half a day, and then I was all right. It's almost like saying there was a sticker shock moment where somebody who I really respect said something to me that really deflated me. But at the end of the day, I knew that person didn't mean anything by it. They were just talking the reasons behind whatever they did, and it perfectly makes sense. So instead of saying upset, because upset can be, Christ, you were crying into your pillow, you didn't know, you were thinking of slitting your wrists, all that sort of stuff. Despondent. I think there's a much better word. I've learned to use a language in my blog, is what I've tried to say, so I don't upset people.
I mean, I don't mind talking about this, and it's nothing. I've not spoke to Lee about it.
No,
but I was. She's moved house recently, and going through drawers and finding stuff, and she said to me, she gave me this. She says, "Oh, look, I've got this. This it was like a purse." And it was fully about fucking 10 like USB sticks, and it's like 8 meg. They're all tiny. She goes, "Oh, do you want them?" I went, "Oh, I'll take them. I'll take them anyway. So I'll just see what's on them, and I can if there's any photographs." So I was going through them with her permission, and I found photographs with exes of hers in it. And I, for a couple of weeks, I got really, really sad and down and jealous, which was fucking ridiculous. And
it's like in the past, but then again, who wants a photograph with a sad face on it? Of course, she was smiling with the person. She probably was smiling and happy at that time. I know what you mean.
And it got to a point. I was getting myself upset about it, and I thought I was going, stop being a fucking arsehole. How dare you? How dare you fucking feel like this? But then I went onto YouTube, and is it called retrospective jealousy, where you're jealous of somebody's past.
Yes.
You've got a girlfriend, or there's a picture of your girlfriend with this fucking big guy, blah, 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 and you're immediately comparing yourself with them, and that's just stupid. So
it's resentfulness, isn't it? That's what it is.
And that's, you've got no right. You've got absolutely no right. You've got no right to look at that. But your diary, it's your diary. But you put it on a public forum, people can watch it. You might not like some of the things you say, but that's how you were feeling.
I've always said it, Alan, and we're getting to 9 o'clock, so I'll just say it very quickly, and that is that, look, I could be jealous about your life. At the end of the day, when you die, you've had a daughter, right? You've changed nappies. You've lived all that life where you've had the smell of talcum powder and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I've had none of that. But then you could look at mine and go, yeah, but you went to Disney World, California. You drove across this. You've been to Germany. You've had more probably girlfriends than I've had. You've been out with the lads and drank while I was inside having a nap. It's always that grass is always greener. It's just that when you're later on in life, you start thinking about your legacy and you start thinking about what you leave behind. And I think to myself, you're leaving behind something that I'll never have. I've got no son that carries my name on. I've got no daughter that, that's going to, give me grandchildren and all of this sort of stuff. My mum and dad go, and when I'm gone, that's all I've got is what I've bought. And you think to yourself, well, what a waste that was.
I mean, they say that jealousy is one of the most negative emotions you can possibly get. It's a natural thing, though. It is a natural thing.
Yes. We wouldn't be human. We wouldn't be human if we didn't think, I want what somebody else has got.
I know.
Or had.
I know. Hey, Milthy Swinbuckle. By Christ, there's a blast from the past.
Do you want that copied into the comments thing? Do you want me to do that?
Oh, actually, yeah. Wait a minute. Could I?
Because you're never going to read. You're never going to read that back.
Right. How can I? Wait a minute. Delete. No, I don't want to delete the
Just
comment.
just put that into Notepad, and then when the screen ends, put it in a comment.
How can I do that? How can I copy and paste? No, I can't copy and paste that. How do I get rid of that? How can I copy?
It's in your StreamYard. Just copy it from there.
Oh, I know what I'm going to. Oh,
click on the comments tab. Just copy it from there and put it into Notepad.
Copy it. What do you mean copy it in the comments tab? I'm looking at the. I'm looking. If I move over the comment,
yeah,
it just
so
comes up.
highlight it all and press Control and V.
I can't. You can't highlight it. If I move over it,
I've done it. Mine's turned all blue. Block.
Right, I can't. If I move the cursor over Milty Swinbuckle, it comes up with a
underneath it where it says question.
No. If I move over where it says question, it just comes up with a plus sign that says show, and if I click on it, it does that.
Right, I'll do something for you now. There you are. Put it into your Facebook Messenger.
All right, smashing. Right, good man. Thank you, Milty.
You just got to remember it's from Milfy.
Yeah. I'm going to go and type in Milty after, if you don't mind. That'd be great.
I'll do it now.
Yeah.
First
time on YouTube. He's been watching me for a long time. Thank you, Ross. I look forward to that, buddy. We'll get in touch. Anyway, listen, before we get going, I just want to talk about one thing which I was talking about last week. I've had an issue for the last 3-4 weeks with my little intro tune, which it was a guy, a friend made my intro for me back in 2013. I believe the tune was like a mod file, an Amiga. I don't know whether it was made in an Amiga or whatever it was. It was a mod file that was written in 1994. And I mean, I've not credited anybody with it because I didn't know who it was. It was like, it's a SID tune, whatever. Anyway, the last 3-4 weeks, I've had copyright, not strikes, I've had copyright claims, which means I don't earn any money. I don't earn like the 60 pence that I get for a video, which is fuck all.
Yeah,
it still means, and it's so anyway. I've had that over the last 3 videos, and I've put in a dispute, and you don't get to speak to anybody, and then after about a week, it's come back and says, "Good news, blah 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 has removed this. Everything's great." I've done 3 of them, and I'm just waiting for the next one to happen, and I'm getting pretty pissed off with it because the person that is taking out the copyright claim uploaded a video with that music this year. I think he did it in October, and he's claiming that, I don't know whether it's him or whether it's a process that's it's basically saying that I'm using his music, whereas I've been using that since 2013. We've since found out. I mean, I mentioned last week there was a group of people that watched my channel. They were like all over the guy saying, they didn't say he's a cunt, even though he is. They were saying, "How dare you try and claim copyright?" Blah 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 blah. But we've since we've managed to track who wrote the original mod file. It's a guy who he doesn't have any presence on the internet anymore. So there's no way of contacting him. If I could contact him, I would do so, and I would say, "By the way, I've been using your tune for 13 years. Can I use it?" But there's no way to get in touch with him, and I don't know how to break this chain because you can't message customer services on Facebook. Not Facebook, YouTube. It's impossible. It's impossible to contact anybody unless you're a big channel, which I'm not. Then you've had it. So this is going to be a thing that's just going to keep repeating itself. So I thought to myself, I'm going to have to. One of my mates, Mark Stoneham, he's written about 4 albums of synth music, and it's fantastic. I mean, the intro I had for the 12-hour live stream, all that was Mark's stuff. It's great. I could quite easily use one of these, and I'll never have any problems with that, unless somebody decides to steal it and then say, "Oh, you're using my tune," which is not. Then I thought to myself, why? And I think it was Colin Jones that he managed to get a hold of the mod file,
Yeah.
And I think it was Nick Arlisoft. He says if we could get a hold of the mod file, we could just tweak it slightly, change like the voices, whatever it is. Then I came up with something which I've not mentioned yet. I thought if we can break it up into like say 4 voices, I'm going to. The first one is. I'm going
Yeah.
to record with my voice. I'm going to get Dale to go. And I'll be going. And I was going to overlay the 4 voices and
Yeah,
put it out there.
you're going to multi-track it like
I was going to
like an old tape machine.
What's it called? Not soprano. What's it called? Is it Acapulco or something? Whatever it is. What's it called? What's it called?
Yeah, well, that's where
it's voices,
different pitch, different.
Yeah,
pitches
yeah. I was telling somebody at the computer club last night, and he goes, "It's going to be like the Flying Pickets recording my tune." I thought that'll get the bastard. They can. It's going to be unusual, and it's going to be my thing. Then, before
it's a cappella. I think you're talking about, isn't it?
I decided to get this.
That's a vazoo, isn't it, or whatever?
Kazoo. So I recorded it using a kazoo, and it was quite funny. I mean, it sounds shit, but it's quite funny. Imagine my tune with that playing. Yeah. But then I thought to myself, wait a minute. My mate Andy is in a rock band. He's a lead singer. I went to see him play last weekend, and fucking hell, he can absolutely shred the guitar, like guitar solos and that.
Yeah.
So I sent him it, and I says, Andy, what's the chances of you putting that out as a guitar solo? He went, oh yeah, I'll do that for you. So hopefully you can imagine ding, ring, 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 as a guitar. So that's what I'm planning. If Andy can do that for me, I'm probably going to put it out as a guitar solo. I think that'll be absolutely fucking brilliant. So that's what I'm planning to do. Just take the same tune, but record it in a different way. It might be that, or it might be the kazoo. I don't know. Or it might well be if we can get a cappella. That's it, Colin. A cappella, yeah, that would be good. If we've got 6 voices, we can. I might chop and change it, have it. But yeah. Anyway, getting back to copyright, it's just what is to stop me going on to YouTube, finding a really successful channel that use a specific, say like Retro Man Cave. Let's go and look at his. Or in fact, we'll tell you what. Lawn Boys Post 1975. He uses the same intro for every video.
Yeah.
I'm going to download that. I'm going to upload it as a video, and I'm going to fucking claim copyright on him. What's to stop me doing that? What's to stop anybody doing that? And that's where YouTube is broken. They don't give a shit about me. They're not interested. I don't generate them anything at all. But yeah, it's just fucking annoying. But I'll be fucked if I'm going to let this bastard grind me down. That tune will live on. And like I said, I could quite easily change it. And I'm thinking, well, why should I? Because it's like a bully coming along and just fucking taking your ball, and you're going, all right, okay, I'll not play football anymore. No,
it's weird how it works though, Al. Because I mean, if somebody composes something for TV, like the Game of Thrones theme or something, just because somebody does a violin track with somebody going, nah, 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 it doesn't take it away from the fact that it's the Game of Thrones theme.
Yeah, yeah.
So if this was a track that did have a copyright to somebody, and all you're doing is changing the voices to something, it's still the same tune.
Aye, if you're going to use it, but if we were doing it as an a cappella, that's never going to be picked up.
Well, yeah, you say that, but maybe it would. I don't know, but it'd still be the same tune.
That's not going to get picked up. They're not going to know. They're not going to go. Wait a minute, that's the same.
The amount of times that I've had a trailer turn around to me and say this has got a copyright to it, And when I look, it turned around and said, "This is the Russian ballet music that was used for 15 seconds at one part of your." I'm going, was it?
Yeah.
Blown if I heard
And-
or something. And then when I played it back, the actual section that they were talking about was silent. I don't know where they were talking about it. It's
Yeah.
almost like it picked it up artificially and got it wrong.
Yeah. It's I don't know whether it's a bot or whatever it is, but the fact is, I mean, I've messaged.
Yours is a totally different case. I'm just letting you know, if you do,
Yeah.
if something is well known and then you just change the voices to it, or even just change the tempo of it from 4/4 to 3/4, it's still the same tune because you recognize.
Aye, it's still going to be picked up. Yeah, but I don't see why I should stop using it, because this guy, I've been using it. There's no other channel that uses this tune. This guy's come along.
I'll say it on here. He's a cunt. I don't give a shit. I don't use that word very much. My mum would be washing my mouth out with soap if she heard me saying that. The fact that she's not watching you this today because I'm not in the room means that I can use that word, but usually I don't use that word. So yeah, it infuriated me when I was reading up about it. I felt bad because I wasn't getting involved, but Colin basically said everything that I was going to say.
I know exactly.
No point me getting involved in it.
Exactly.
Because I was thinking to myself, "Hey, matey, you know I've got my Yamaha really expensive keyboard. I can put some really weird instruments on there. I can record my voice and have that as every note as me going do, 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 whatever. And I could do that. If you gave me the MIDI version or the tracker version of that, I could change that in seconds.
Yeah.
And give you a fresh version of it.
What's infuriating is the fact that I only use, I mean, the whole track is maybe 3-4 minutes. I use like about 18 seconds off it.
Yeah, but
I mean, fucking hell.
I remember you telling me in the distant past about your friend giving you that. He did a couple of them for you. He gave you I think he did a whole CD of it, didn't he?
Music, didn't he? What are you talking about? The guy that did the intro?
Yeah.
No. The guy that did the intro was an ex-YouTuber, a guy called Monkey Spaz 5000.
No, the person that gave you your music for your intros. You said,
"Oh yeah, Mark." Saying, yeah.
And I remember you telling me about him. I remember all of that.
I'll tell you what. Let me just before we let's just hang on.
And I remember you saying he did a couple of tracks for you, and he said you can have them.
Oh, hang on a second. Let me just.
The trouble is, there's no piece of paper that says from a musician to you, I'm passing copyright over to you. Do you see what I mean? There's no paperwork to it.
No, that's the problem. Like I say, it just takes somebody to decide that I'm going to say that this music is mine, and there is nothing. There is nothing you can do. Right, I'm going to share the screen. Let me stop cam, present, share screen. Can I share audio?
I tell you what, I wish I made up the tune "Happy Birthday to You." I'd be a trillionaire. Just think how many times that's been sung in films.
No, unbelievable, isn't it? Right, so there is. Hopefully you can hear this. So this is Mark Stoneham. There's his albums. He's written 2 albums worth. You'll recognise this one. Hopefully you can hear this. You hear that? You know that one.
Yeah, I know that one.
I just.
I can hear it.
Conservatively. We are just machinery, making music by living.
It's absolutely fantastic, the stuff that he's done. So I've got 2 albums there of stuff that he's done, and then there's all these individual tracks.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's all that music I could use, but the point is, why should I? Because that intro is Mainmeister. You hear that tune, and you know it's my video, and it's my
Yeah,
my
that's right.
videos. And you know, if that was the guy that had written it, and he came back and goes, "Oh, wait a minute, mate. You know, I'm not happy that you've been using this. You know, I'm going to if you're going to make money on it, then I'm getting the money." I would understand that, but the fact that this guy hasn't done it, the fact that
Yeah,
he's
that's
obviously
what blows in the face and makes you go
what
bloody red.
what annoys me is in 3 instances, YouTube has said, "Hang on, you're using this guy's music. I've done a dispute," and then they go back and go, "Yep, you know what? Yep, that doesn't stand." So why the hell does it then? Why is it going to? It's probably going to happen again. This one will probably have it because I've had it. Um,
Yeah.
I've got 2,500 videos. Probably 2,000 of them has got that tune. What's going to happen? Am I going to suddenly get copyright strikes on every single one
Well,
of
that's
these
the
videos?
thing. I don't think their AI then goes, because we've had that dispute, we'll now run this across 70 trillion videos, and every
Yeah,
single one is now going to get a copyright strike. They just uphold the one where one person has talked about it or the
aye,
AI picked up upon it. Because if they had done, right, I'll run that now against every video that you've ever done,
yeah,
they'd come up with all of these ones and they'd turn around and say, right, you're getting all of that copyright striked, and you got to take it all out.
yeah.
You can
I
imagine
know.
what a piss that'd be. It'd be awful.
So anyway, but yeah, that's the plan. Might get an acapella version of it. That should be good fun. Yeah, and hopefully my mate Andy he'll do my guitar solo one for it as well. So
Yeah, that's going to be the best bit because it's a proper instrument
aye,
version.
that would be nice. So anyway, listen, folks, we have waffled on quite enough. It's only 10:20. You've still got time to go and watch a film. What was that film? I'm going to go and watch War Games. Yeah, because
War
we were talking
Games
about that before we started.
with
How long?
Ali Sheedy and Matthew Broderick.
How long does it last? Is it a long film?
No, about an hour and 90 minutes to an hour and 40, something like
Is
that.
it right? I'm going to go and watch War Games. I will be along. Oh no, I might not actually, because I'm actually on holiday on Monday. I might not be along on Sunday. If I'm not along on Sunday, I will be along on, excuse me, Monday night. And what I'm
What's it
going
going
to
to
do,
be, Alan? Have you thought? Are you going to do the
it's,
MSX one?
I did the MSX. I did that one a couple of months ago.
No, but didn't there somebody say that I've asked you many times to do an MSX?
Yeah, and
Can you do an
I did
MSX
do
one?
one. I did do an MSX one fairly recently.
Oh, I thought that was about 4 weeks ago. You said, "I must go back and I must do that."
No, I
Because
did. I did.
you've mentioned it
Well,
again.
I did an MSX one. Let me have a quick look. And I think it's a guy Frank who was asking for it.
Something like that.
And I did do one. Yeah, let's have a quick look.
You're going to carry on with your Amiga and Atari ST thing, aren't you?
Yeah, that was quite good fun actually. Where people, people. Yeah, there we go. I did a Sunday night live stream MSX 3 weeks ago.
Ah, I couldn't remember. My brain's going. You see.
Yeah, unless you were. I don't know if you were. I don't know.
No,
Anyway,
I was there. I'm pretty sure.
it must have been memorable. That's all I could say.
No, it's my brain. It's gone to mush. I am now officially ancient.
But yeah, if I don't do one, it's probably going to be Monday night. So anyway, listen, I'm going to let everybody get going. Massive thanks to you, Craig. Always good to see you, mate.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you always for inviting me on.
It's always good fun to catch up. Big hugs to your mum, mate. And finally, folks, yeah, I will see you again and have a great weekend. As always, folks, thank you very much for watching. See you later.
Bye.